Carr. Here they come. Carr throws to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Aguilar. Play because Aguilar was able to get open, but
all right, what's up, everybody? It's Dante from East Coast Gridiron here today to bring you a brand new concept for the channel. I get asked from time to time, how do I break down film? Why is this team doing this concept? Can you explain this to me? And to kind of make you guys a better football watcher at the end of the day. I watch a lot of film at night. Usually inside of the games themselves, it's hard to really recognize these things that are going on. So watching everything after the game is over, watching everything in post, they kind of break it down and see what's been done. It's a lot easier to understand if you understand the concepts themselves. So one thing that I get asked a lot of questions on is cover zero and why it's played so prominently in the NFL and college. College has been doing it for a long time, but the NFL has been doing it, but even more so, there's a reason behind the madness and why people are running cover zero a ton and why some teams are running it at the most incorrect times and against the worst players, or against the best players that can break a cover zero coverage. So let's go ahead and head over to the concept I have right up here for you guys as I pull out my notes as well. So first thing about cover zero, if you're a coach out there, if you're a player that's trying to get better, this is a really easy concept to teach. And this kind of gives you lessons on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball on what's modern. I'm not sure if they're going to run this more, but as the quarterbacks and as everybody starts getting more athletic, this is going to be harder to stop, especially with players that are as timid nowadays of throwing a football. So when we start looking at this here, what you're seeing in cover zero is just basically saying that there is no coverage 15 to 20 yards off the ball. Usually what you'll see here in modern days in a modern defense is a free safety being here and a strong safety, usually cheating down. Strong safety is just a bigger term for a skinnier, faster linebacker, because usually they just come up and play this middle of the field in a lot of situations, right? And as a disclaimer, don't take everything that I say as fact. Be able to do your own research as well. This is how I understand it. This is how I was taught it, and this is what I observed that's being done. A coach might take this and flex it and do it totally different than what I'm explaining it, but this is just a general concept of what a cover zero is. So usually those safeties that would be playing here and here, the free safety is usually going to come down and play man-to-man on this guy, and the safety is usually going to come down here as well, and they both are going to take care of the two X or Y, or not X, but H or Y receivers is what we usually call those inside guys, or what they're generally known as is slot receivers. So sorry if I'm explain this in a very elementary form, but just so people understand, this is the first video as well. We could start getting in more detail later on, and I'll be sure to put this in a playlist as well so you can come back and watch it. Now let's go ahead and get a little bit into the meat and potatoes here. Cover zero also is known, not only is it the man-to-man coverage or concept, this is also known as like the all-out blitz concept as well. So, and I'll explain why these cornerbacks here are off the ball a little bit in today's cover zero. But usually what you're going to see here from your weak side backer, weak side meaning that these are the, if you had to chop this field in half, weak side being how many people are on that side of the ball. So 1, 2, 3, 4 versus this outside linebacker who would be known as the strong. He's taking care of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys being on his side of the field. So, if you're talking about Mike, Sam, and Will, this is just weak side, strong side, and middle linebackers. So not sure if a lot of people understood that as well. But the reason why this is an all-out blitz, pretty much every defensive lineman is crashing every single gap here, or typically sometimes the outside gap or a complete opposite gap. And then you have your middle linebacker who's going to crash the B gap, which the B gap is between the guard and the tackle. The A gap is between the center and the guard. And then your weak side backer is going to come in and cheat up and crash usually the A gaps in this type of formation. Now, why that's important is because you already have everybody crashing down on your defensive line. Having your linebackers that are totally crashing different gaps than what you probably think they're assigned to not only confuses you as an offensive lineman on who exactly to block when you have somebody, but it confuses the quarterback as well, especially if somebody squeaks through to get that ball out fast. Now that we explained that the safeties are actually playing up, there's nobody in the back of the field. We usually call this the MOFO, middle of the field open. That's basically a short term for this. Is no help back here. But let's get into some more of the positives, right? It covers short routage. I said routage. I just made up a word. It covers the short routes. So short routes meaning, let's say that there's some crossing routes that happen, some comeback routes, some inside curls, some little seam plays here and there. It might cover, things like that. Plays that are intended to get the ball out fast for the quarterback. Also, along with that, what this is really designed to do and why this is played prominently is because RPO concepts are running rampant in the NFL. So RPO concepts, let's see, for the quarterback he would read and see if he wants to hand this ball off to the running back, or either he's going to get this out quick to his wide receivers somewhere over the middle. Why this is bad in a cover zero is because if you have very athletic corners that can not only match up to the speed but the physicality of these receivers, they are going to match them step for step while the quarterback has a lot of pressure in its face. Smart quarterbacks, this is not going to phase them too much. Quarterbacks that don't mind getting hit, this is not going to phase them too much. But generally, this is why this is being run. And you might be asking yourself, hey, Dante, why is the corners and the safeties playing so far off the ball? As we take this white line as the line of scrimmage, what we do is we call this the box, the 5-yard box, or like the 3-yard box, right? In RPO packages, what do you think would happen in the case of the corners and the safety playing this far up like they used to on the line of scrimmage? What'll happen is they will just get immediately blocked, especially if you have physical wide receivers. This is not going to be a good thing for your defense, because if this run concept comes around, all this running back has to do, if this was like a little handoff right over the middle, like a belly play, all he has to do is miss this guy, and that brother's gone. So that's why they're kind of playing the box, to kind of give them some more leverage to get off of that wide receiver if they need to, or if those corners need to play up. What you're going to absolutely not see any teams playing this type of coverage are corners that are really, really prevalent to get burned, not only to get messed up by really good physical receivers like AJ Brown, but also really fast receivers like Tyreek Hill as well. The Richard Sherman days when he was in Seattle, this would absolutely burn them up. The Legion of Boom would not know what to do, but the cornerbacks or their safeties are actually really, really good too. So you kind of take them out the play as well for not making a play right across the field. So like I said, this exposes defenses if your teams have really, really good wide receivers that are really, really fast. AKA, don't run cover zero against the Miami Dolphins. The reason why is because you have Jalen. You're usually going to have either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, here on the outside, or either Tyreek Hill playing in the middle of the field. One concept that does burn this up in some cases is the 4 verticals, which this guy's running a 9 route. This guy's running right over the middle of the field, or these two guys are probably going to run deep crossers, and this guy might run a route as well on the outside. If you have 2 speedy receivers already crossing up these 2 safeties, they're gone. If you have Tyreek Hill one-on-one against a corner that's speedy as well, or that is slow, he's going to burn them. So will Jalen Waddle. They're just going to get routed up here, and that brother's gone. So this concept eats up that. Well, it does not do well against this. And usually the corners are going to be on your of course on your outside receivers. We talked about the blitz packages a little bit. I would be aware of the seams. The seams are going to be the most wide open in this. So let's just say that this X and the Z receiver are running inside curl routes. The middle of the field is just open for them to have a field day. But like I said, the blitz being on this concept is really meant for, oh my gosh, as my Alexa goes off. All right, thank you, Alexa, for interrupting me. But so like I was saying, the seams are going to be open. If you got really fast receivers, they're going, because this is meant for an all-out blitz. So confusing the quarterback and getting to the quarterback is really one of those things that you want to do. Now, what you'll see if we're talking about variations of this defense is pretty much just one variation, and that variation is being the middle linebacker could cheat back and possibly play the zone of this middle of the field, which in some cases is not really going to help you out when you have somebody that's fast anyways. And occasionally you might see one of these defensive linemen go back and play in zone coverage as well. So that's one variation. What you usually call that one player that does drop back here, let's just see one of these two decided to drop back in coverage. We usually call that a rat. It's kind of a variation of a quarterback spy, if you will, that's intended to make sure that this middle of the field is being covered. So a couple key things, like I said, I wanted to go through. This is man-to-man on everybody. That's what this this concept is meant to do. This strong side backer is meant to cover this running back in man-to-man coverage. These defensive linemen are meant to just crash everything and come down in blitz, and your will side linebacker is meant to crash the A gap, while your strong or your middle linebacker or your Mike backer is meant to crash the B gap. And this could be different variations of each other. This is just how you would draw this up. The main key is to put pressure on this quarterback to get the ball out quick, only for short yardage situations, so he's not dumping the ball down the field and getting all up in your face the whole game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, man. I enjoyed talking about Cover Zero. Let me know in the comments section what other plays you want me to go through. Hopefully this made you not only a smarter football watcher, but I hope a lot more of you guys are able to break down film on a couple more of these players that are not only coming out of the draft, but some of your favorite players in the NFL as well. That being said, this is everybody's favorite couch quarterback. This has been Between the X's and O's, and we'll catch you guys next time.